Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, the Big Rob Theory, and today I'm going to be presenting for you Game of Thrones Season 1 recap and review, and kind of just discussing it a little bit. You Game of Thrones fans, I know if you're feeling like me, you are really missing the show. I know a lot of people were very disappointed with how Season 8 ended. I was kind of on the fence about how it ended. I really wish a lot of things would have gone more in depth. I thought that there should have been some changes, aka they should have had a full season, maybe a 9th season, you know. But that's okay. It's okay, because this show is still...
Command to answer for his crimes.
My lords, I bring the city watch.
Come, Stark. I'd rather you die sword in hand.
If you threaten my lord again...
Glad that it ran for so long and that it came to a decent conclusion. So to start off with this Season 1 review and recap, we kind of go back in time a little bit and when everyone was young and kind of naive and had no idea what was to come. Can't tell the future, obviously. The main houses in Game of Thrones would be House Stark, House Targaryen, and House Lannister. There are some other strong houses, case in point House Tyrell, House Bolton, House Baratheon. There's so many different houses in Game of Thrones. About Season 1, there's this whole saying, winter is coming.
And winter is coming!
And that is actually the words of House Stark. Winter is coming. If you're a Game of Thrones fan and you've already seen these seasons, then you already know what winter is coming means. When you find out what it is, spoiler alert, White Walkers, it is fantastic to see everything come to fruition. Ned Stark, who is played by Sean Bean. Lady Catelyn is played by Michelle Farley. Lord Peter Baelish is played by Aidan Gillen. Kit Harington plays Jon Snow. Sophie Turner is Sansa Stark. Maisie Williams is Arya Stark. Basically, throughout Season 1, we get a build-up of House Stark, of House Lannister, of House Targaryen. So within this build-up, you see the different houses in the different areas of the world kind of getting things together, learning about different things. Some people don't know about other people yet. Cersei Lannister and Jaime Lannister don't really know about Daenerys Targaryen just yet. Sometimes being a little too honorable can get you killed. At the end of Season 1, one of the most honorable and noteworthy characters does not make it. It's sad because he is a great character. A little too gung-ho certain times with certain things that he shouldn't say and shouldn't do. Right from the get-go, one of the main characters, Daenerys Targaryen, Emilia Clarke plays Daenerys. She gets basically sold to the Khal Drogo, who is played by Jason Momoa. In order for an alliance to be made and for Viserys Targaryen, her brother, to become the king of the Iron Islands and the Iron Throne, he needs an army, and in order for him to get this army, his sister has to marry Khal Drogo, which is the head of the Dothraki army. Throughout Season 1, we kind of see that journey, and it's one hell of a journey to go through, especially with Daenerys, because you see such growth in such a short amount of time, because she has to in order to survive. You see how vicious the Dothraki are, but how a strong and stern woman can sway even the strongest of men. It's kind of crazy how you see both male and female dynamics throughout this season, and you see the growth and development on both sides too, in regards to Daenerys and Khal Drogo. Jaime Lannister is played by Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Lena Headey plays Cersei Lannister. Now Cersei Lannister and Jaime Lannister, they have a weird affair going on. They're brother and sister, and they're also lovers in the nighttime. Yeah, that's what we call incest, okay? And it's gross. Very gross. I would say that their father, Lord Tywin Lannister, played by Charles Dance. He kind of has an idea what's going on between Cersei and Jaime, but because of the strong-headed man he is and how he needs to keep a reputation and all this, I'm not going to acknowledge that. I'm just going to act like that doesn't exist, and we're going to keep ruling how we do. Okay, so Tywin Lannister, I would say, is a necessary evil, if you will. For lack of better terms, he is an asshat. But he's a smart asshat. He has no issue, really, working with some people that he may not be fond of or that he might want to overrule. But in order to be successful within the moment, and in order for future successes and for future things to work out, he likes to think big picture. He likes to pick and choose his battles, which is what you would think everybody should do. It's not how things go, and we quickly learn that. Yeah. So the brother of Jaime and Cersei is Tyrion Lannister, one of my favorite characters. He is played by Peter Dinklage. He's kind of the runt of the family because, well, he's a half-man. He's a dwarf, but they call him half-man. Tywin hates him because, unfortunately, in order for Tyrion to have been born, his mother died. And that's not his fault. It's just a complication of childbirth. Tywin Lannister blames him, and so does Cersei. Jaime's kind of indifferent towards Tyrion. He actually likes Tyrion, and I do like the relationship that they have. Fortunately, Tyrion is not considered a real part of the family in regards to Tywin. That's pretty sad because Tyrion is actually one of the best Lannisters there is. Oh, he has a saying, I drink and I know things. He's an awesome character, and it perfectly describes him. Drinks a lot, likes to hang out at whorehouses, and he knows things. So one of the biggest things that happens, starting in episode 1 and leading throughout the season, and kind of what forms the future of this character, Bran Stark, when he was a kid, thrown out of a window. Man, jeez, he got thrown out of a window, paralyzed him, and ever since then, Bran's had to cope with being paralyzed. As the season goes on and as the seasons progress, you see what happens to Bran and how he copes and what happens with him. Even though I spoiled a little bit, but I won't dive too much into it now. Future videos, I will dive into how Bran forms into the character that he is today. Bran Stark's played by Isaac Hempstead Wright. Robert Baratheon is one hell of a man because he and Ned Stark used to go hunting and sacking and raiding when they were younger, and they were two of the best. Robert Baratheon, who's played by Mark Addy. King Robert, seeing how Cersei is with Jaime and how all of the children have blonde hair and blue eyes and none of them have black hair like him, we kind of assume that he knows that those kids are not his. Drinks and kind of is a loud man and likes to have women in his bed. Cersei is not about it because she doesn't love him, you know, she loves Jaime. A weird dynamic in season 1. A lot of people know some secrets, but what we've learned about Game of Thrones is if you know something about someone in power, you keep your mouth shut until you meet up with the right people who can properly do something about it and protect you. Then maybe you say something, because even then sometimes can't always get protected. Those who watch this show, anything can happen in these episodes, and anything can happen in this show. And it has happened. Anything that can happen has happened, except for in the last season, apparently. So Jack Gleeson plays Joffrey Baratheon, one of the sons of Cersei and Jaime, who... crappy little kid. Oh my gosh. I hate Joffrey. I hate Joffrey. For those of you who do watch this show, and if you surprisingly haven't seen it yet, you are going to hate this kid. Personally, I think the best characters in this show, who overall has such a great redemption story. There's several people in this show that have redemption stories. I'll get to them. But I have to talk about this one starting from this season, because in this season you see where he starts out, and you're just like, there's no way that a guy like this has a redemption story, but he does. And his name is Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound. This guy is one hell of a monster. I mean that literally. Like, he's a man, but he looks just disgusting in the show. His brother puts his face in a fire. Like, what? It's not even cool, man. Like, I've heard about, like, sibling rivalries, but that's some serious crap. I know I didn't dive too much into storylines with this show and this first season. It's because I don't really want to reveal too much of what you're gonna see in this show. And I know a lot of you watching this have seen the show already. You probably understand what I mean when I say, like, I don't want to, like, talk too much about it, because it's a lot better to watch Game of Thrones and see everything progress how it does naturally, instead of hearing about it and then watching it and being like, oh, okay. I definitely will be divulging some spoilers in future videos. Like, when I do season 2, I'll talk a lot more about things that go on, because there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot to talk about in regards to season 1, but I'd rather start off this series of videos having you kind of want to hear more, want to see more. Go rewatch Game of Thrones if you've seen it already. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you've been doing, especially now when we have nothing to do. Come on. you're slacking. I know I didn't get to some characters that are still in Season 1. Don't worry, I'm definitely going to expand upon that in Season 2's recap and review. I just kind of wanted to get something out there, especially in regards to this series. I've been meaning to review this series for a long time. Don't know why it took me so long. So thank you for sitting through this video. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate all of you that watch these videos and hear me rant and talk about nonsense that I love. Like and comment on this video down below. Hit the subscribe button if you like this content and if you want to see other content. If you've seen some of the other videos, you know I don't do just this kind of video. Let me know what you'd like to see. And let me know what you thought, what you thought about the video, what you thought about Game of Thrones if you've seen it already. And if you want to see me touch on something specific in Season 1 or in any of the seasons, just let me know. I'd love to interact with you guys, and I love just putting content out there that I love to talk about and that other people like to talk about. So, again, thank you for watching this, and hopefully you'll watch future videos. And away we go!